I think this question comes from SEO concerns. How will Google react to HTML5? And we don't know, to be honest. I think we can speculate, but it's dangerous to do so. From past experience, we know that Google needs a weight of data, and then Google will decide how the internet is using that data. So if HTML5, for example, is commonly used by high quality websites, then Google will begin to learn that high quality websites are typically sites using HTML5. Alternatively, if Google discovers through analysing its data lots of here today, gone tomorrow pyramid schemes moves onto HTML5 first, then it could be a negative quality signal. Possibly one key area to watch for in HTML5 is prefetching. So with HTML5 you can tell your browser to start downloading pages ahead of time. Now if you're relying on your server logs to analyse your web traffic, this could be misleading because your server logs will say that a page was delivered but actually nobody visited that page. So there's a possible pit trap there. This update has been talked about for many months now, and many marketing agencies really talked it up. They predicted big changes in Google search results, even though Google had said they're not predicting big changes in the search results. And the truth is, Caffeine is an infrastructure update for Google. Google changing their own internal rules as to how the data is stored. And so far, Caffeine is live, and we haven't seen any major changes in search results. But there really is a really big caveat to this. Caffeine allows Google to store more data in a different way. And once that is in place, Google can start to analyse that data in different ways too. So the side effect of Caffeine being in place is we might get radically different search results. Even if the order doesn't change, Google might be more able to bring in blog content or video content or social content. And to be honest, that's not a 2-minute question, that's a 2-hour question. I think first thing I'll say is, if you expect to track social media in the same way you track ROI in your PPC campaign, you're going to be disappointed, because it simply isn't possible. But there are ways you can apply some analytical insights into tracking social media. For example, you could have a predefined list of sites you consider social. Facebook, Twitter, anything that has blogspot in the domain, especially if it's between two dots, two periods. And then you could tell your analytics filters or your post-analytic sorting in Excel, let's see the incoming traffic from this list of predefined domains, and then attribute anything that traffic does to the social media campaign. But there are fancier ways to measure social media, and click path analysis is one. So for example, in paid search or SEO, we might see that somebody searches and clicks multiple times before they make a purchase. So in a large brand, you generally have a short click path. So the customer would shop for a product, maybe do a bit of research, then come back, buy a brand search and make the purchase. Because they'd shopped around, they discovered that that brand sold that product at a price they were prepared to pay, and they trusted that brand, so they made that purchase. Smaller brands have to work harder to earn that trust and the purchase. So you might see that the shopper shops around further, comes back to the website multiple times before making that purchase. And this is important in paid search if you're happy to pay for those clicks. But after a social media campaign where you've boosted the profile of your brand and hopefully increased the level of trust around your brand, you might find that those click paths shorten, and in effect the amount of money you're spending in PPC reduces, and you can attribute that money to the success of your social media campaign. Just 2 examples, but really let's do a whole seminar on that later. I think many people are concerned about running a corporate blog because you have the whole issue of comments and what people might say and how you cope with that. But a blog has a number of advantages. It's not just because blogs tend to be technically written in a search engine friendly way or tend to be social. It's the fact that blogs enable you to be quick. Speed is really important. If something is happening and that something is relevant to your brand, for example, you're a retailer and there's a new announcement of a new product or game just become available, and you've known for weeks that you're well stocked in this, but you're under NDA, you couldn't say anything. Sure, you can make that product or go live on your website, but it may take Google a while to notice. And really, the first page that Google notices mentioning the name of that product has a head start, because Google might consider that page to be the authority by default. Now, the advantage of blog ads is you can blog about that game or that product. Google notices it very quickly on the blog because it's a recent post, not just an addition to your large catalogue, and that gives you a keyword stake in relation to that product. And of course, in your blog post, you can link to your catalogue where that product's for sale, and that again points Google or any other search engine to that page. So the advantage of a corporate blog isn't just the ability to write and get search traffic, it's the ability to get Google's attention quite quickly, and of course the attention of your sphere of influencers, other people writing about you. Crucially, I would say in search these days, it's no longer just enough to be relevant, you have to be an authority in your area. I think there you have to realise, do I need an application just for my mobile phone, or will a mobile website do, or is my current website good enough in a mobile? And in many cases, check your current website out on a decent mobile, and you might be pleasantly surprised. On an iPhone or an Android phone, your current website might be good enough. But if you do decide to develop a mobile application, I think my top tip is to think about tracking before we put it live. A common mistake to make is for people to publish their application, only then to think about promoting it and realise you have no way to track clicks to downloads, because that download code needs to be in the application. And unlike tagging a website, you can't just throw the analytics tags up into the mobile application. You've got to recode your application, and if it's an iPhone application, you then have to go through the approvals procedure again. You then need people to update their application on your mobile phone, and it can be a hassle. So when you get started in mobile marketing, think about whether you need an application, and if you do, think about the analytics.